So this week's episode of My Hero Academia, our characters are tasked in the most challenging test they could possibly imagine, and in my opinion, it's the test that counts the most. The first one, testing their overall abilities, what they could do against other heroes, but now we're testing their ability to rescue people on top of having to fight off villains as they now rescue others. And this is really important because yes, your overall strength of your quirk's good, but you can look at the pro heroes already in this world and their quirk may not be that amazing at first glance, but they are able to use it in certain ways that fits their kind of fighting style and overall power style, so they can be like really successful heroes in their own way. And it's why when you look at a character like Bakugo, who's being very rash, it's starting to show the cracks in certain characters. Bakugo is insanely powerful, he has an amazing quirk for destruction and really taking out villains, but when it comes to rescuing people and treating them in the way that they need to be treated in the situations that they're in, they're frightened, they're scared for their lives. As funny as it is for Bakugo to tell people to shut up, it's not what he should do, and it's why it makes me feel like Bakugo could easily fail in this test, because his personality isn't quite there yet. He hasn't evolved and matured in certain ways. Like, his failure at being captured so many times has started to shift his character in a nicer direction, but I almost feel like this test is going to fail him, and it's going to shift his character even more. Maybe he will pass, but he's not really the hero the world needs in this test right now, and I'm interested to see, will his teammates be able to get him to a victory, or is he going to continue to be rash and fail because of that area? Because, you know, even if he has good skills, that doesn't make him a good hero, and the most important thing is, can you be selfless in that way and treat people like an All Might, give them the moral boost they need in such a dire situation? But with that said, it's interesting now seeing some of the characters, like even Deku, even though he worships All Might, he kind of screwed up in the beginning, but he found his foot, and the way he was talking kind of morally boosting him, even though the moral boost wasn't doing much. It was exactly what a hero should do, and it's nice to see how certain characters are doing better than others because they have some experience on the ground floor there, because they have been in actual real life situations, whereas the others are making mistakes like, hey, I'm just going to levitate the building and save the person. No, you can't do that because everything would come crashing down. It's nice to see that you're already starting to see what experience does for the job, but even with that said, everyone still is sloppy because it is kind of their first rodeo, more or less. And it's kind of fun just to see how everyone's bouncing around, how the teamwork is being played out here, but also now knowing that they're going to have to fight. So do you fight or do you save? Do you run? What do you do here? And it's going to be interesting how they balance that off. Like, you can tell someone like a Bakugo or maybe a Todoroki would want to fight because that's what their quirks are best used for. But someone like Deku, does he use his ability just to rescue, or how is that going to work out? And it's even mentioned in the episode, like, this is a test that even most pro heroes would struggle with, but this is why I think it's actually important that they push the students so far, because you don't want to give a provincial license to someone who's not going to be able to handle something like this, because if that happens, then everything's just going to go completely wrong, because it's possible a hero would never have to deal with a situation like this. They just never get caught up in horrible situations and they just continue to be a good hero. But if that odd chance happens and you get stuck in such a horrible situations and you kind of freeze up, it's not going to be that good. So it's actually good that they're going to push the students so far, and many are probably going to fail. It feels like this license is actually being earned. It's not something that's just being handed out because you got a nice flashy quirk. You actually have to prove you're a hero. But what's also nice to see is how we've seen a lot of All Might kind of influence on people, but we haven't really seen that much Stain influence on good people. We've seen it in the League of Villains there, but to see actual heroes take influence from Stain's ideology, that's actually not the worst thing ever. It's worse if you actually follow through with, you know, his thought process of killing anyone he deems not worthy of being a hero. But if you stop at the level of just what Stain looks at as a hero as being the ideal hero, it's actually a good ambition to aim for, because he looks at someone who's selfless, who doesn't care about the fame, the money, the fortune, nothing like that, only about helping people and doing things for good. That's actually a good thing to aim for, so it's nice to see something, you know, someone who is so questionable with his morals actually influence some good people without pushing them completely over to the wrong side. So it's nice to see that. It's also nice to see the comedy with Mineta and him just being so overly just envious of Deku because he thinks he had sexy fun times, where Deku's just like, I want nothing to do with that, I didn't know what was going on, I was confused, and just the overall reactions were pretty damn priceless. on top of the romance undertones that are being kind of implemented. This episode was really fun. I'm super excited for next week's episode because based on the preview, it seems like it's going to be an anime original episode, maybe fleshing out their training before they went to this test. Either way, I'm excited for more My Hero Academia anime original, manga content, whatever it is. It's just nice to have this show still continuing in its 3rd season there. Overall, I really like what this test is presenting. It's pushing the characters in a more interesting direction. You may look at some characters and say their quirk isn't that good for fighting, but as long as they can rescue people, that's the most important thing at the end of the day. Using your quirk in the best possible way for the situations at hand and working with others, not just trying to show off your own quirk in this test. It's really great. I'm excited to see who's going to fail, but overall, let me know what you're thinking of the episode down in that comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like, and if you're new, also be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.